Families are sharing heartbreaking images of their kids holding Black Panther funerals. A number of photos went viral on social over the weekend showing little boys and girls assembling their other Avengers action figures to say goodbye to King Chadwick Boseman. He, of course, was not killed. He died of colon cancer. He made history when he brought Marvel's first Black superhero to life on the big screen 2 years ago, becoming an instant role model for children of color everywhere. This is heartbreaking, just heartbreaking.
Yeah. And meantime, fans continue to mourn the death of Boseman, not just here in the US, but from all around the world. For many, he was more than just another talented actor. He was a hero in his own right. Boseman's fans talked about what he meant to them as he rose to fame on the big screen.
Chadwick was a visionary, a true hero, and someone that is the definition of a role model. He was culturally aware enough not to take roles that would reinforce negative stereotypes of African Americans in this country. Chadwick allowed little Black boys and Black girls to see themselves as kings, as queens, as superheroes. And I would be remiss if I did not highlight his legacy and the fact that he is a true cultural icon.
As someone who is Nigerian American myself, I look at Chadwick, and not only did he give the world a superhero, he gave them an African superhero. I have nephews that are too young to remember Wesley Snipes playing Blade, but they remember Chadwick Boseman. They know Black Panther. For people of color, for people not of color, to see him up there on the big screen, the amount of money this movie grossed shows that these types of characters need to be seen. And what Chad gave the world was just an immense character.
Here in the UK, when Black Panther came out in 2018, I was at the premiere, and the excitement that was around that film in the months building up to it was unimaginable. And the way that, the African diaspora community, the Caribbean diaspora community here in the UK came out and showed out for Black Panther. It was so important that we had this film that wasn't necessarily a Black story. It was a superhero story that through a Black lens, and that was something that we've never seen before.
Me as a young Black man, it was really impactful. It kind of hurt like a different way. It's the first Black superhero, and I actually went to the movies and watched the movie multiple times, learned a lot from it.
My son, it is your time.
In a literal fight for his life, he was portraying one of the most memorable and iconic characters in Hollywood history. He was playing a superhero. And this role not only inspired an entire generation of movie viewers, it gave us an ability to dream about what a utopic future could look like for Black people. And so many of the characters, whether he was playing Jackie Robinson or James Brown or Thurgood Marshall, he reminded us of the dignity of our past, but through T'Challa and this role in Black Panther, he also gave us an opportunity to dream of a magical future.
Wakanda forever. This guy gave the world a superhero that anybody could admire, but especially people of color.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Chadwick Boseman was 43.